Alright, this is the second to last object I need to help finish my greenhouse. The next is going to be like a siding or a roofing. That's another big expense, but this cost me 600 bucks, $15 a sheet. I should do the entire skirt of the greenhouse, and that's just what I had to do today. I took Friday off to kind of go out and do this because sometimes doing weekend work when businesses are closed. But I searched for this on Marketplace, and this is what I have, so saved a bunch of money trying to get this stuff used because I don't need brand new stuff, and I'm being green, trying to save the planet, reduce, reuse. So one more thing I'm going to do this weekend for sure is I want to get some hardwood cuttings started, winter hardwood cuttings of my sour cherry tree, which is dying, so we'll take you over there and show you. This is my sour cherry tree. It comes out every year, but the birds get at those berries way before I ever do. And it's struggling. It's been struggling since we moved in. I've done some cutting already on branches that were dying and rotting. And it's right next to the aviary. I don't know if I just said that. But here, when you get a little closer, you can see down by the roots, though, they're really starting to get rotten right down by the root, you know. So this thing's only got a year left, 2 years left, maybe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take hardwood cuttings, winter hardwood cuttings, and we're going to try and propagate them, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. And then what I'm going to do is let it grow again, and then in the spring I'm going to come back, and if we take the tree down, I'll take the rest of them and make some softwood cuttings. So of course we'll do one back in the spring when we do that, or in the summer depending on when we do it. But let's get up there, get a bunch of plantables, a bunch of cuttings, and then let's get to it. Alright, so I know we did a little trip to get some styrofoam for the greenhouse, but today we're going to do some hardwood winter cuttings. Now I've only got a small box here, and I'll show you that in a minute, but we're definitely going to cut them small. And what you want is definitely, I got a whole bunch of them, a whole bunch of branches here from when I did the pruning of the sour cherry. So you can see when they're bendable like that, that's like a excuse me, it's not a hardwood cutting, it's a softwood cutting. But we're gonna put a couple of them in too as well. But we want to get down to the more hard, 2-year-old branch kind of stuff. So what we're gonna do is just give that a little cut right there, and always kind of make sure that you know the orientation, because when you start cutting the slants on it, and if you don't know which one is top or bottom, I mean, you're just gonna yucca yourself. So don't do that. So basically we're just going to do that. We're going to look for green in the wood, in the xylem. And I believe you can see some of that. And if you take a good look, it's going to be hard to focus in there, but you know, just small cuttings. And we're just going to make a whole bunch of them. And we're going to put them in the box, and then we're going to show you what we did, how we did it, because I had a lot of success doing it in those clear Rubbermaid totes. And I'm using just a sand mix, and I will be using a rooting hormone, which is basically just this stuff here. This is Pro Mix. You can get pretty much any kind. You can use gel, you can use powder. It does not matter. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's more peace of mind. I don't know how well they really actually work, but it makes me feel better to use it. So I've had some success, so we go with it. So let's get started. I'm going to make up a bunch of cuttings. We're going to stick them in there really close together, and then, you know, we're going to stick them outside. We want to be on the north side of a barn or house or something like that, somewhere where the light will kind of dissipate. It's only getting ambient light for now, and in the spring it'll do the same thing. So remember not to have too much moisture in your dirt or in your inert dirt. I'm using sand. You can use peat moss. You can use pretty much anything you want. But let's get the cuttings done, and I'll show you what we got. All right, these are all what I would consider softwood cuttings. So I'm just going to put them in dirt, and I'm going to soak them down a little bit, and I'm going to stick this right outside and just let it go. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Nothing I can do. But here's all my hardwood cuttings here. I got, a dozen or two, and then we're going to put them up in here. Let's just grab a couple right here. All right, so we got a couple of these, and I made sure I had them all lined up in the right direction, right? So I want to make sure we do that. We're going to want to get some compound in that, and then we're just going to push it in right to the bottom, and that's all we're going to do. We're going to line them all up and put the lid on, stick it outside, wait till spring. Alright, I didn't take an exact count, doesn't matter. I have cuttings for days here. I got all this extra stuff here. I just picked the best out of the best and put it in here. Now, I had done this outside like some people do within sand in a, like a raised bed with just sand and a shade. And it worked out pretty good, except, and I'll leave the link at the end for that video, but the only problem is I didn't get back to it enough when it was during the drought. It didn't get enough rain, so they kind of dried out on me and died. So I didn't really get back to it, and I was busy building greenhouse, but this year it's all about propagating. So these are my hardwood cuttings, although I threw a few softwood cuttings in there. Put the lid on, stick it outside, and that's it for this week. That's their final resting place until spring. And it's right, that little pot right there with the cage on it, that's the peaches and the plums and all the stuff that I've eaten over the last year. And then I just threw them in the pot for stratification naturally out here in the winter, and let it do its thing. So we're all done now. I'll see you next week.